back to Phenomena. I'm your host, Mimi Dibbs. Welcome to episode 8 of season 2. We are flying by. There's 10 episodes a season. We're almost at season 3. Wow, who'da thunk? I guess anyone that can pinpoint that if there's an episode every week. Yeah, I guess many people could have thunk. But you know what? Anyway, thanks for coming back. The emphasis on is on the fact that you came back. So that's on you. 10 out of 10. Diving right into this week's Phenomannouncement. I am surprised that I haven't shouted this small business out yet because I had to double check my notes. Lundine's Gifts, because I usually just call it Lundine's, but they are located in downtown Culver City, around the Los Angeles area, California. They're such a good store for just like gifts, basically. It's just like a bunch of, and honestly, like if you just need to like, if you're around the area and want to peruse around a store and just see like what they have, they have like the best stuff. They have like they have like grow your own plants or like kits or a lot of like kitchen utensils and random stuff like that. But then they also have a bunch of like games and they have like kids stuff. I think one of my old neighbors, they had a daughter and I got her like a really cool little crystal thing that I found there that was supposed to reflect sunlight into rainbow colors. So yeah, lots of really cool gifts. And it's super fun to peruse around just to like see what they have. So if you're into, so gifts that like, it's not for essentials. Obviously, I don't think anything in that store is like essential to have, but like they're so cool. They're really fun, especially if you're like, hey, I haven't gotten myself a gift in a while. Go to Lundine's and find yourself a really fun gift that you didn't even know existed. Because honestly, they got some crazy stuff and I could spend hours at that store and millions of dollars if I had it. Lundine's, you're awesome. Lundine, when I get to meet Lundine face to face, honestly, Lundine for president. She's amazing. I don't even know if she's a person, but she is in my mind. Cool. This week's episode is about the Stonehenge. Also, to clarify, obviously the phenomenon itself is for Stonehenge, for example, it's how it, got assembled and what kind of went into that and who assembled it. Also, some of the other ones like Mothman, last week's episode, the phenomenon itself is how many people swear they've seen a similar thing. It's not the mythical or the cryptid itself. You know what I mean? So the phenomenon is like, wow, how like so many people have spotted Bigfoot and have all like talked about similar elements and qualities of Bigfoot. So like that's the phenomenon. That's the unexplained thing. Like how do these people that could not talk to each other explain the same thing? It's not about whether it's not the existence of that thing is the phenomenon. Well, I guess the existence of it is, but you know what I mean? It's more so like, how did so many people get on the same page about a certain thing when it comes to like cryptids and stuff like that? So in this case, yeah, this is a very well-known phenomenon in that no one really knows how the Stonehenge came to be. And there's a lot of like, I don't know, we'll get into it, but like they're really heavy rocks and not a lot of them are even from the area. So it's like, how did they even get assembled? Without further ado, let's get into Stonehenge, a rock-solid mystery. Ooh, by Ruben Hano. Yay! All right. Deep in the rolling hills of the English countryside, amid sheep-grazing plains, stands a 5,000-year-old structure that has baffled scientists for centuries. Stonehenge is a circle of massive stones set into the open plain. Each one stands as tall as a small house, rough and cool to the touch, worn by wind and time. Some rise upright like giant teeth, while others are joined at the top by a third stone, forming open doorways of rock. A little rock house. Nice. When you said, I read doorways and I was like, wait, portal? Maybe is it a portal? Is Stonehenge a portal? Stop. Okay. We're getting ahead of ourselves. The outer circle surrounds a tighter horseshoe-shaped group of these arches, all aligned with the rising sun. Its beauty is undeniable, but it's the mystery that lingers, drawing curious minds from around the world to wonder who built it, how they did it, and what it was meant to do. Right, yeah. I feel like a lot of people don't even know, like, what is Stonehenge for? Like, why was it even put there? So let's dig into the lore. According to British folklore, Stonehenge wasn't built, it was stolen and relocated by none other than Merlin, King Arthur's right-hand man. Merlin, the wizard. What? The legend says that after Saxons treacherously murdered British leaders during a peace meeting in Salisbury Plain, King Arlius Ambrosius, oh my okay. Why is that a drag name? I love it. Arlius Ambrosius wanted to honor the fallen with a grand monument. And naturally, he called up his local wizard for aid. Merlin the wizard. I love it. Merlin's big idea? Let's steal a magical stone circle from Ireland. And so he did. The little help from friendly giants. Oh, I love this already. Giants, yay. Merlin supposedly moved the ancient stones called the Giant's Dance across the sea and plopped it down right where the massacre happened. A monument to betrayal, honor, and the magical power of Ooh, I didn't know. I really had no idea that Stonehenge even had, like, according to British folklore, had this, like, magical wizardry appeal to it. I love it. Later, it is believed that the monument also served as the burial place for Ambrosius Uther Pendragon. I love these names. Uther Pendragon and possibly King Arthur himself. Oh, what? Why were they buried there? Are those their gravestones? Stonehenge? Of course, we love this legend. I mean, who doesn't want to believe that Merlin and his giant buddies dragged magic rocks across the sea? Yeah, but also the whole, like, sea aspect of it. I get that, like, giants, because obviously the rocks are really big, so, like, I get the whole, like, it was giants, so, like, to them, they're like pebbles. But are giants able to just, like, cross the sea? Riddle me that, Merlin. Huh? What? Or was he able to, like, magically float the giants? Or, like, why did he need the giants at all if he could just float the rocks over? I don't know. Lots of questions. Scientists, as usual, are here to ruin the fun with facts. Although it is important to consider the scientific elements of it. But, yeah, let's weigh the options. Facts that predate the wizard by a few thousand years. Only a few thousand, come on. Archaeologists now believe that Stonehenge began as an ancient burial site. Oh, okay, so we're really 10 toes down digging into this ancient burial site idea. So it is the grave Stonehenge. Human remains have been discovered in and around the area, suggesting it may have served as a sacred resting place. Then the earliest part of the structure we know now was a simple circular ditch and bank, what's known as a henge monument, built around 5,000 years ago. The famous stone circle didn't appear until about 2500 BC, during the late Neolithic period. For reference, that's roughly 3,000 years before Merlin got into the magical rock moving business. Oh, okay, so Merlin was just starting out with his business. Like, he didn't even build the LLC for it yet. Like, so riddle me that. How does that make any sense? But I'm wondering, do scientists know that the rocks were there prior to the burials, or were the rocks put there after that site was used as a burial site? Interesting. I don't know. I do love the idea that it's a burial site, though. I had no idea. I know Reuben and Christopher, their husband, went to see Stonehenge IRL. So I wonder if there's, like, some, like, witchy, mystical, or, like, I don't know, creepy aura around it. Because it's a graveyard, I guess. Interesting. As for how the stones got there, that's still a mystery. Some of them, particularly the smaller blue stones, came from the Preseli Hills in southwest Wales, over 150 miles away. Did they roll them on logs, drag them, float them down rivers on rafts? No one's quite sure. But could you imagine the tariffs on importing the rocks today? Stop, no, not the tariffs, come on. No, but literally, it's what do you mean? Like, how would they even float on, they're like really heavy rocks. They're big old rocks. So that's the most confusing part for me is, like, what's the significance of it? The whole doorway thing, that makes me think it's a portal. Come on. Tell me that's not a portal. It's a portal. Yeah, the whole, like, if they dragged them, wouldn't there be marks dragging them, right? I'm curious. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I'm sorry. We're just here to discuss. We're not here to answer. So, if not a monument to betrayal and wizardry, then what was it for? One big clue lies in the sky. On the summer solstice, witchy. The sun rises directly over the heel stone, and on the winter solstice, it sets over it. That kind of solar precision suggests Stonehenge may have been a holy site, carefully aligned with the movements of the sun. Huh. Yeah. Well, because like thousands of years ago, didn't they use the stone and the shadow to tell time, right? So was it just like a big time? Did it have to do with time? People often associate this kind of astronomy with druids. Ooh, wait, druids are shapeshifters, right? That's what I understood from World of Warcraft. I don't play World of Warcraft, but I think there's druids in it. I don't know. Why is it associated with them? But modern research has debunked that idea, stating that the site is thought to predate the druids by around 2,000 years. Well, if the answer isn't wizards or druids, who else would be interested in the stars? Interesting. Again, utilizing the stones as a way to tell stuff about the sky? That leads us to the theories. Okay, our first theory is, you guessed it, aliens. Yes! I feel like it's been a while since we've had aliens as part of the theories, so it's about damn time. One of the most persistent theories about Stonehenge is that it was built or inspired by extraterrestrials. I actually did not know that. That's really interesting because, yeah, I feel like, obviously when you think of crop circles, you think of aliens. But when I think of Stonehenge, I don't really think of aliens. I just think of how confusing it is that that big of a structure was there and has been there for as many years, or has predated any sort of technology we have today to be able to move those rocks. So like, what happened and how did they get there? But yeah, aliens, that makes sense. That checks out. With its mysterious origins, astronomical alignments, and massive stones moved without modern tech, it's little wonder people imagine alien architects. After all, surely no primitive human could have done this with ropes and sheer willpower. That's what I'm saying. Pop culture from Star Trek to 2001: A Space Odyssey has cemented the idea of monoliths as galactic portals or spacecraft landing areas. Yeah. Haha. Portals. I knew it. Yes. I wonder if it has to do with like the fact that it looks like a doorway. And sure, archaeologists hate this theory, but you know who doesn't? Every episode of Ancient Aliens, half the internet, and the entire marketing team behind Prometheus. Why do archaeologists hate this theory? Just because they don't believe in aliens? Okay. Well, then what do they think happened? Archaeologists? Can't just tell me it's not aliens and not give me an alternate theory. I'm talking to all the archaeologists out there. Theory number 2, maybe it wasn't little green men. Maybe it was just clever humans. This brings us to our next theory. Really smart farmers. We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum. Honestly, that just speaks to the power of jingles, because I don't know who the farmers hired to be ahead of their jingle, but I just remember the "We are farmers," bum, 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 and then the "You don't have to be lonely at farmersonly.com." I'm not on farmersonly.com. Why do I even know that jingle? But it sticks with you. So good job, farmers. Great PR. Great PR. Some argue that Stonehenge reflects the culture of early crop farmers. At first I read early pop farmers. Oh, early pop diva farmers. No, early crop farmers. Before the invention of modern calendars, ancient peoples relied on natural markers, like the stars, to determine the best times for planting and harvesting. Yes, going back to the whole clock thing. The rising and setting of specific stars and constellations signaled the arrival of different seasons, indicating when the ground was warm enough for planting or when it was time to harvest. In addition to reading the skies, researchers believe that the people who farmed the land around Stonehenge may have built the monument as part of religious or social practices tied to agriculture. Maybe they used it to honor agricultural deities, or just as a good old-fashioned gathering place, which to me just means they were having ancient barn parties. Ooh. Hell yeah, dude. That sounds epic. I heard that you can stay at Stonehenge. It's on Airbnb. Just kidding. Obviously, I don't think they have a cover, right? It's just a doorway. I still don't know how that would make sense as to, how did the really smart farmers get the rocks there if some of the rocks are not even from that area? What? And especially if some of the rocks are from Ireland, which is an island, it's how do you get it across the water? I don't understand. I'm so confused. Unless like some crazy natural occurrence happened where the stones somehow were swept over there and then the humans assembled them in that weird way as a way to like help with telling time and stuff. But still, like, I just don't understand. They're so heavy. I think, I'm pretty sure, because they haven't been moved since. And that's the biggest mystery around them is like not only the way that they're like assembled, but also like how they got there. Because like, I don't think that's natural. I don't think they're naturally occurring rocks. So yeah, I get why the really smart farmers might have used them, but whose help did they enlist in order to get the stones there? Huh? Maybe Merlin. Maybe Merlin and the giants? I don't know. Interesting. Our next logical theory, really smart herders. Oh, a new study suggests that Stonehenge was likely built by prehistoric animal herders, not crop farmers, as long believed. Based on ancient crop data and climate records, researchers argue that cooler, drier weather around 5,300 years ago pushed people in Britain to shift from farming to livestock herding. And these pastoralists may have worked together to build the monument. For herders who relied on the natural rhythms of the seasons for things like grazing cycles and animal breeding, an accurate understanding of celestial events would have been vital for planning. These findings challenge older theories, though some archaeologists remain skeptical, saying early farmers still likely played a key role in starting to construct the monument. Okay, so a lot of the reasons behind why the monument was built has to do with keeping track of time and getting a better understanding of cycles and seasons for different reasons. But I still don't know how they got there. Man, I don't know. Because what? Prehistoric animal herders. What does that even mean? Wait, mammoths? Woolly mammoths? Would they have been big enough to carry the stones? In their tusks? I don't know. Again, if there's a body of water separating them, I still don't understand how that worked. Or if there were ways to float the rocks. But why use those rocks? Why not just use rocks that were closest? Some of the rocks were 150 miles away. That seems so bizarre. And why would you do that? Why would you get rocks from, what was the significance of the rocks that they got all the way from 150 miles away to all the way in Ireland? For what? What was the significance? I want to know. Interesting. If anyone knows, let me know, because I don't know, but I'd love to go. That sounds fun. I'm so jealous that Ruben and Christopher got to go. That had to be lovely. Apparently they went and I believe did a tour. So that would be really great to go with a tour guide so that they could explain the different theories and why they're so important. What kind of accent was that? Why they're so important? Important. Man. I wonder if they went through all these theories in the tour. And I wonder if Ruben and Christopher and all the other visitors got to touch the stones. Is it a no touching zone, or can you touch them? Because apparently they're cool to the touch. Interesting. I want to know. I want to go visit. So, all in all, was Stonehenge a wizard's trick, a farmer's clubhouse, a herder's monument, or an alien landing zone? Or all four? Who said that? Huh? I do like the idea of a wizard. I also the wizard is the only theory that explained how they got there, right? Is the whole the giants got them there, which again, the whole how'd they cross the water thing. That's still a question. But yeah, all the other ones are a reason for why it's there. But yeah. Maybe they couldn't find big enough rocks, and so they had to go further away to find them. I don't know. As always, we don't really know. Fair facts. Personally, after everything we've read and the fact that Christopher and I visited and didn't feel a single spooky vibe. Oh, yay! I love that you mentioned that if you felt a spooky vibe or not, because I was going to ask you, Ruben. Okay, that makes sense. I'm leaning toward our final theory. Stonehenge is the oldest group project known to mankind. Ooh, okay. Okay. Utilizing prehistoric animals? I think that's the theory, right? The really smart herders theory. Because the whole idea of prehistoric animals, they could maybe move those rocks. I wonder if there's moss on the Stonehenge rocks. Would there be? I hope so. I love moss. But yeah, okay. No spooky vibes. No weird portal-y kind of off feelings around there. So, just group project put together to figure out the skies and the seasons and other such time-related things. and then it's just stayed there until now. If Stonehenge fell, that would be like big news. Because like the way that it's like even balanced, isn't that the other thing? I gotta do more digging into the Stonehenge because I feel like there's something about the way it's balanced is also like, how is it even staying? And like it's stayed for so many years now, like that thing's not falling. Crazy. First, the farmers built a mound to watch the stars. Ooh. Oh, wait. This is the final theory. Oh my gosh. Sorry. So this is a fourth and final theory. Stonehenge is the oldest group project known to mankind. First, the farmers built a mound to watch the stars. Then the climate shifted, and their descendants, now herders, stacked a few stones. Oh, just a few stones. Why are they called stones? To me, those are boulders. Centuries later, Merlin rolls in and adds some imported inventory. Ooh, oh, I like this theory. Okay, and finally, aliens fly by, see the potential for a roadside attraction, and boom, they build a visitor center. I love this. This goes back to my whole, like, maybe it's all of them. I love that. That's very fun. A good, nice old stone visitor center. I'm on board. I'm down. I like the idea of there being a portal. Was anyone able to walk under the thing? The, like, doorway? I don't know. Why does it look like a doorway? Otherwise, if it's not a portal. I don't know. That'd be crazy if, like, you walked through and all of a sudden you're, like, in a different timeline. Man. Now I want to go. We're kidding, but it's fun to theorize, isn't it? Yes! Besides, no matter who built it, Stonehenge is still an amazing engineering feat that's definitely worth the hype. Don't believe us? Go see for yourself. Yeah! In fact, we're now an Expedia affiliate. Ta-da! Yay! We joined the Expedia affiliate program, which means if you use our link to book your trip to England, hello, yes please, sign me up, you help support Phenomena without paying anything extra. So if you're ready to walk where Merlin walked, or just take a really dramatic selfie, head to expedia.com/affiliates/phenomena/Stonehenge. Yay! I love that. Oh my gosh, yes. If anyone is planning a trip to England and wants to go see the Stonehenge, and definitely send us pics for if you go see it and let us know if you feel any spooky vibes or what your theories are about why Stonehenge exists or how it got to be what it is and where the boulders are from and why. Email us at phenomena.cases@gmail.com because I really need to know. But yay, Expedia! Oh my gosh, amazing. Flights, hotels, and whatever else you need to manifest your mystical vacation, it's all there. Again, that's expedia.com/affiliates/phenomena/Stonehenge. And we'll make more of these for each episode, and there'll be like distinct links. So this one is Stonehenge specific. And it's Stonehenge. I feel like when I first heard of Stonehenge, I was wondering if it was Stonehenge. I thought it was Stonehenge, but it's not a hedge. It's henge. So yay! Ooh, let's get into the Poke Pick for this episode. My favorite part of the episodes, the Poke Pick. Stonjourner, the big rock Pokemon. Yeah, I was actually wondering which one Ruben was going to pick because there's so many rock Pokemon. Rock is like a whole Pokemon type. So it's like, who do you even pick? Ston or Stonejourner? Maybe Stonejourner. But it's spelled like Stonjourner. Pokedex entry. This Pokemon spends its life gazing at the setting sun. It strides leisurely across grassy plains on legs of rock that weigh over 4,000 pounds each. I love that. Oh, it has to do with the sun. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That's perfect. Exactly. That's exactly like what Stonehenge, the whole theories of like why it was built was for the whole sun tracking. So I love that. It gazes at the setting sun. Aw, that's so cute. And yeah, it's got legs that weigh over 400 pounds each. So that checks out too because them boulders real big. Yes, as I mentioned, feel free to email us at phenomena.cases@gmail.com. We do a Phenomena episode at the end of every season in which I read your personal Phenomena stories. So feel free to email them to us or comment on the YouTube video. Yeah, reach out in any other way. Phenomena.cases on Instagram. All the links are in the YouTube homepage, like under in the links section, right? Near the About Us section. But yeah. Definitely feel free to let us know your personal stories because I'm super interested and want to know if you have had any personal experiences with Stonehenge or if you have any theories or if you've experienced anything that you can't quite explain. Have random huge boulders shown up in your backyard? If so, let me know about it. We have a Patreon. So we have a free tier, a $2 tier, and a $5 tier. We also have a Discord that you can connect with us on we have a bunch of channels. One of my favorite ones is the Pokepic channel, because we talk about which Pokemon is the Pokepic for that episode. And then, we talk about different Pokemon lore. But the Discord is pinned at the top of the Patreon, so you can access it with the free Patreon tier as well. But yeah, the other ones are if you feel like you want to help support Phenomena. Feel free to do so. Yeah, I also post on Patreon the Pokepic, my favorite GIF, an extra reel from the episode, and the podcast episode. And the extra reel and the podcast are for the paid members only. But the Pokepic and the favorite GIF are for everyone. And I also post those on Discord. So yay. New episodes come out every Wednesday at 6 p.m. PST. Next time on Phenomena, we'll be talking about the long-awaited Loch Ness Monster, Nessie. Wait, I was going to say Lessie. It's Nessie, I think. Because isn't that one of my favorite parts of Twilight is when they're like, you named my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster. She called her, I think it's Renesmee, and Jacob calls her Nessie, which is like the Loch Ness Monster. But yeah, our amazing guest writer, Griffin. Griffin wrote the Bermuda Triangle episode, the 4th ever episode of Phenomena, season 1. So they are returning guest writer, super, super excited. And I'm so glad that they wrote the Loch Ness Monster episode, because that's a good one. That's a great one. So again, to clarify, the phenomenon is the sightings, the multiple sightings of the Loch Ness Monster, and how the Loch Ness Monster has been described by the people that swear they've seen sightings of them. The phenomenon itself isn't the Loch Ness Monster. The phenomenon is like why so many people saw it. Is it shared psychosis? Like what's making everyone see this thing? So anyway, yeah, cool. And remember, you can always explore the rabbit hole without falling all the way down. Okay? Always keep one foot in reality at all times. Anyway, see you next week. Thank you so much. Bye.